when it comes to gear, are you loyal to any certain brands or machines? Is there one kinda go-to piece of equipment that you always start with?
No, I mean, I don't have that much pieces of gear, so to speak, anymore. But it might be Joe Mark's drum machine, or an abstract Avalon, or it might be an MS-20, like a Korg MS-20, or I have an old Juno floating around. So um, I just take something out and I just sort of hook it up and see what happens.
That's awesome. I remember years ago when I was first starting out, it was before you and I had ever met or knew each other, but obviously, I was a fan of the band, and, I think it was a photo, or I saw something where you had what was it, a Quasi-MIDI Sirius.
Yeah,
Yeah, and, so I was like, again, learning how to make the music that I wanted to make and what equipment would do that. And so I was influenced by that. And I was like, well, if Sasha's using that, I should check that out. And I went and got one. And to this day, I think that's one of the most complicated synths I've ever owned. Like, just
yeah. It's not very intuitive.
not at all.
Also, the Revolution that
Yeah.
Quasimidi made. It was a
I,
cool
I wound up
machine, but
getting
it
all of,
was really like, huh? Where to start?
yeah. Yeah.
It's
I collect synths, and so I wound up at some point I owned all of their line, and then I wound up selling them because I love collecting them, but it gets to a point I was like, I haven't turned that thing on in 5 years. I should sell it, let somebody else enjoy it, replace it with something else.
right.
So I wound up getting rid of all my quasi MIDI stuff.
Yeah, well, it's very cumbersome to schlep around all these analog boxes and then that break, and then it's kind of like. I mean, one thing I have the advantage of having is a sample library of about 300 some songs.
Oh wow.
So oftentimes, let's say I'm working on something, it's let's just say it's an F sharp and it's 132 BPM. And I'm taking a little lunch break and I'm thinking something, this reminds me of something. And
Yeah, yeah.
then maybe it dawns on me, and then maybe I go back to an album that maybe I made in 2011, and there's the musical piece that I really sort of associate with what I'm working on currently, but it's say in E, and it's at 140 BPM. So just import it, time stretch it, tune it, chop it up, and maybe use, out of an 8-bar piece, maybe I use 1.5 bars and loop them around, and then this becomes something totally, entirely different. But it comes out of the magic box, it's like where all the samples and all the drum loops are, and um, so that's really a good sort of treasure trove to have the ability to fall back on.
Yeah, I again, it was funny. I was talking that same friend I was talking about because I've been in the studio all weekend, and we were talking about um one of the vocal things I did. I pitched it up to something that's not I'm not able to do live. It's out of my range. And we were talking. I was like, man, like 20, 15, even 15 years ago, to be able to pitch just something so easily, and it doesn't change the tempo, and I can, if I don't like it, I hit a button and it's right back to where it was, and nothing got erased or destroyed.
Yep, it's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
technology, you know, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So you've kept this project alive for over 40 years, not just alive, but relevant. How do you keep, like, what keeps you inspired to keep pushing and keep staying current and relevant?
I don't know. It's just who I am. I guess it's like I I can't just sort of dawdle my time away. I have a beautiful little recording studio, and I love to spend time in here. And so the first thing I do in the mornings is I go up and I have my coffee and check my mails and things like that, and then inevitably I want to listen to something that I worked on maybe yesterday or maybe last week, and maybe there's a new idea and maybe I just get into it and maybe it's 6 p.m. before I know it. And I
Right.
realize I forgot to eat my lunch and now it's dinner time, So that's how it goes.
Nice.